No. Week 8, boys. Week 8. A week with more storylines than the Kardashians have had boyfriends. Kicking things off with the Detroit Rock City Lions. Yes, the Titans are a bad team, but, another team putting 52 points on any team deserves an honorable mention. And isn't it amazing that we had another Lions game where a QB again wasn't the only player to throw a tutty? I mean, Jared Goff only had to throw for something like 85 yards in this game, and they still got it done. Somebody give me what's in their Gatorade. Meanwhile, has anybody checked in on Dan Snyder? Not more than a year since he was forced to sell the team, and the Commies have completely transformed their franchise, winning today's game against the Bears in fabulous style with a walk-off Hail Mary en route to a 6-2 season. And by the way, boys, thinking of Dan Snyder, it just reminds me of another absolute, shall we say, dope of a human being. This one all the way over in, you guessed it, East Rutherford, fucking New Jersey, who for the last 24 years has been hell-bent on crushing the NYJ Jets fan and sucking the soul out of all of us who bleed green and root for this franchise. And fellas, I have to say, if there is a God, may he, in all of God's glory, guide Robert Wood Johnson IV towards a Diddy-like scandal involving his slippery Johnson & Johnson baby oil and his special trumpet once old mate Donald makes it back into the Oval Office, so he is forced to sell the team amidst a scandal of epic proportions, just like Mr. Snyder himself. Sans the baby oil. But finally, I would be remiss if I didn't throw out an honourable mention to one and only Dakota Rain Prescott, who just last week got down on one knee, no, not to run out the clock in victory formation, but to propose to his girlfriend during the Cowboys bye week. It's nice to see him so happy because this week, well, I'm going to actually use the exact words that my fellow host Evan had to say in regards to their fan base shattering loss to the San Francisco 49ers, and it went something like this. Dak had a chance to prove he was elite, and he goes 4 and out. Well done, dickhead! On that note, fellas, how are you doing? Oh, that was
not surprised.
How you doing?
Another smashing loss against the Niners. First of all, we had the bye week, and they were like, oh, maybe we'll come back. We actually led somehow 10-6 at halftime, and then 3 straight touchdown drives from the Niners. We didn't get a first down until 5 minutes left in the whole game. Fred Warner, wow. Yep, that's a throwback.
Wow.
Yeah, wow indeed. I mean, all three of us here are actually sitting here looking at some pretty miserable losses. The only guy who's not here today, Mitch, is the only one whose team won at my loss. But let's talk about your loss today, because the Seahawks also looked pretty shitty today, didn't they, Matt?
Yeah, look, easy to blame weather conditions, but, the Bills also had to cop those weather conditions and have kind of used to it in their neck of the woods. I think what went wrong for us was 2 goal line opportunities. One snap went right over Gino's head, and another goal line opportunity, he tripped over the center. And that was all she wrote. Like, the Bills just scored another 2 on top of that. We had like a two-score lead at that point in time, and that was all she wrote. Yeah, and it was pretty average. And yeah, thanks, Ev, for not beating the Niners. The whole fucking division is now 500, which is unbelievable.
Don't expect Dallas to do your dirty work.
Well, they almost got it done. I mean, the comeback was on.
Yeah, and then, like I said in the chat, he had a chance. And first down, he nearly threw a pick to Warner. Second, third, he ran out of the pocket and threw it out. And then the fourth, they're complaining about a flag. Like, mate, how do you... CeeDee Lamb, okay, fair enough, 2 touchdowns, wide open, great game, like 41 fantasy points. Like 160 reception yards, 2 touchdowns, and 13 receptions. How don't you pass to your wide receiver on the last drive of the game? You pass it to Jake Ferguson on tight end day or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Record-breaking National Tight Ends Day. 16 touchdowns to tight ends, huh? How about that?
Really?
16. Yeah. Beat the previous record of 12.
Albert and fucking Turpin. It just is what it is. At least it didn't end the way it did against the Niners the last time we played them away, and that was Zeke getting run over. So,
which was probably the greatest play I've ever seen in my life. I want to come back to your comments, Evan. Specifically the end of that. Good job, dickhead. I mean, how do you feel now about this contract situation? 8 weeks in, how do you feel now about Dakota Rain?
It's been his worst year in Dallas statistically. You could put it down to he's missing Brandon Cooks, his number 2 wide receiver. But still, like, okay, the O-line's a turnstile. Like, they give Dak 2 seconds. But guess what? Half the NFL has 2 seconds to throw, but they're not throwing 2 picks a game. Just the first pick, he just rushed it. Just throw it out of bounds. Cop the sack. It's first down on the 30. Cop the sack. And the second one was just not stupidity, but I'm not surprised. Again, I've had 3 straight years of 12 wins. Yeah, we went one and done the playoffs, but maybe it's time to go 500.
Maybe.
If you're lucky.
500 is the worst. Honestly, 500 is what. Take it from a Jets fan.
14th pick, 13th pick, you'll get.
Maybe the 15th, maybe the 16th. It depends on how it falls. Like 500 is a really bad position to play because you don't get into the playoffs, but you don't get rewarded with a good draft position. I personally think you're better off going 3 and. I was about to say 3 and 13, but what is it? 3 and 14 now, right? You're better off going 3 and 14 than going 8 and 9, because at least you're going to get a better draft position all the way through the draft. Because you're not making the playoffs, so the offseason is dead anyway. You may as well just tank it. I don't know.
Unless you're the Panthers and you don't have your first round pick.
Unless you're the Panthers and you want to sabotage the next team, sure, keep winning games. But so that's all of us lost this week, fellas.
Yeah.
Cowboys lost. Seahawks lost, and unfortunately, I'm staring at another season where
I got to ask you, John, what do you think of the time management in the first quarter, using up all 3 timeouts?
Something's going severely wrong. I mean, we're going to talk about this in my down and why I think that this is the owner's fault. But apparently, like the call's not even coming into Aaron Rodgers' helmet till like there's 15, 16 seconds to snap the ball. Then he's got to get the play off to the players, and then they've got to get to the line, and then they got pre-snap movement. And then don't forget that he's often checking the defense and checking in and out of plays. And if he can't do that, then you kind of look. Here's the reality: Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, coming off an Achilles tear. He's not a mobile quarterback anymore. Sure, he's broken out of the pocket a few times, but he doesn't do what he used to be able to do. Okay, so he needs to, like Tom Brady did towards the end of his career. Actually, not even towards the end, but like Tom Brady did, sort of from his late 30s onwards. Is he needs to be able to read the defense, check the plays, run his hot routes, and just get receivers open. Yeah, so he can stand there in the pocket for 2 seconds and then throw the ball. You can't do that if you're getting to the line with 10 seconds left. So there's just systematic, failure all the way across. We'll talk about the Jets, but all 3 of us had to feel that. The only problem for me is I started the week really poorly because of this fucking Jets loss, and now we've got to play the Texans this week. So thank you very much to the NFL gods for scheduling me a loss on a Monday and a loss on a Friday. Way to fuck my week right up as a Jets fan. Are you kidding me? Anyway,
you fucked us all the way through today. We had a 4 a.m. loss, a 7:30 loss, and a 11:30 loss. So
all day we've been miserable.
It all started for me on Thursday night football, though. LA Rams winning. I just knew from that point on, it's like, okay, shit, this division is going to tighten up. Something fierce. An incredible win by LA, by the way. You have to give credit where credit's due. That offense looks completely different when they have their 2-star wide receivers. And, the Seahawks loss helped them. The Arizona win against the Dolphins probably doesn't. They're top of the division, by the way, just based on the divisional wins. They've got the win over the Niners and LA. So Arizona 4-4 on top of the division. It seems like no one wants it at this point in time, but the only team with for what it's worth, positive point differential is the Niners. The rest of the division are in the in the negative territory. I still think they'll find their way back. I mean, CMC is apparently coming back after the bye, but I think it's going to be down between the Niners and Rams at this stage. I mean, they looked just incredible, against the Vikings team that everyone revered. All of a sudden, they've come right back down to earth.
The Niners, they had a stat today where I think it was from week 7 or week 8 onwards, 21-22. They had a negative record, which they had 3-4, and they went on a 12-game winning streak in both years. Yeah, they lost the conference championship, but still, they can go all the way.
If the Jets can go on one of those, I'd be really happy.
One of our players coming back. What's your thoughts, lads?
What, on tour coming back?
Yeah, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago. He's going to come back after the bye week against Arizona, but still
Well,
couldn't get it done.
yeah, well, I mean, but he wasn't getting it done beforehand anyway. Look, Tua is going to do what he's going to do. I'm sure now with a very expensive insurance policy. Probably the team has got an expensive insurance policy on him as well. At the end of the day, if the guy's cleared by doctors, he's cleared by doctors. You know, what are you going to say? If he wants to play, the doctors say that it's safe for him to play, then he's going to play. If it happens again, who knows? I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen again. I don't want to. You know, you don't wish ill, especially even though he's a division rival, right? You don't wish ill. I wish ill on the Dolphins as a franchise. I want to make that clear. Actually, I want to retract that. I wish plenty of ill on every team in the AFC East. I hope they all suck. I hope they all have short-term injuries they can come back from and get nice and healthy for. I hope that they're all fucking. I hope that their owners have diarrhea. I hope that everything goes poor for every other franchise in the AFC East. But I don't hope for brain damage.
When was the last time the Dolphins won a Super Bowl?
70-something, probably.
Oh, they
never
got
won
undefeated
Dan
Derby.
Marino.
And
Dan
they went
Marino won a Super Bowl, did he?
No, he never won a Super Bowl. It was when they went undefeated, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure the Dolphins have the longest streak of not playoff appearance. I think
Playoff appearance with a win, 2000.
with a win, 2000. Yeah,
with a win. The longest streak in American football, no, the longest streak in American sports right now without a playoff game goes to.
Oh, is it without a playoff game? Is it
without a playoff game goes to the New York Jets?
how many years?
Yeah, that's the longest streak. 13
When were
effing years.
when were the Dolphins? When were the Dolphins in the playoffs last?
The Dolphins made the
20
playoffs. They made the playoffs in
last
2000.
year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they had to make the playoffs with Tyler Thompson at quarterback. Remember?
Oh
And
yeah,
as well.
KC beat them. Yeah.
Had the longest streak without a playoff win, and that was in year 2000.
Yeah, they were in the playoffs last year too.
Yeah, my bad. I was getting the stats mixed up, like appearance and win.
Yeah. Anyway,
hey, it was Halloween this week, and do you guys remember 2 years ago where there was that massive upset Browns in Cincinnati 2 years ago on Halloween?
Hey.
Myles Garrett came in dressed as Vecna from Stranger Things. He walks in today dressed up as Arnold, Terminator 1 Arnold, and they did a number on the Ravens. That one was crazy, and you got that sense. I mean, it's just when he walked out of the tunnel like that, I was like, it's on. I think the Ravens lose today. And of course, I didn't put the bet on. I never do.
no, and that was the only line in my multi I shared with you guys. I had a multi.
Yeah.
That was pretty well played. Tick, 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 tick. But as always, is my luck is boom on one that I don't expect to happen, and that was the Ravens. Hey, all credit to Jameis Winston.
Holy Nelly. Oh, my God.
I mean, that guy is just...
Do you see how locked in he was prior to the game? He had that interview. He was so locked in, man.
Totally locked in. Totally locked. Did you hear him quote Eminem after the game?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like, and I'm going to quote my man from Detroit, Eminem. You only got one opportunity, one shot. Don't miss this opportunity. Never know when it might happen again. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, but Jameis, this is like your third opportunity. So it's probably going to happen again. But, yeah, look, I mean, fuck. I was rooting for Jameis. I wanted Baltimore to win from a multi, and I wanted the Ravens to do well because I have fantasy implications. But I wanted Jameis to do well, and I'm glad that he did do well. And, it is what it is. I lost my multi, but it was a great game. Cracker game. Better than me.
Talking about Jameis, a man that wants to replicate his stats, Patrick Mahomes could go 30 for 30 and win an MVP.
Yeah, after he threw one today, right? A pick.
Yep, a tipped pick.
Yeah, he was in his end zone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's throwing picks left, right, and center. It's crazy.
So what is his touchdown to intercept ratio?
I think 9 to 8, I think.
Oh, my God.
Has he ever had a season where he's thrown 8 interceptions?
I'll tell you now, Mahomes stats.
I think last year he was fairly high up there.
So 21, 13 picks, 22, 12 picks. Last year was his most at 14.
Yeah.
This year, oh my God. 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
Oh, right. First. 8 tutties and 9 picks.
Now, so he's on pace for 18?
It's his worst year since, it's his worst year ever.
Look,
I think 19. Wow.
I think what's more egregious is the fact that where he threw the pick, whoever picked him off, They were 5 yards out, and the Raiders could not convert it.
They couldn't get it in.
Run, pass, sack. That was it. They turned it over on downs on the goal line. That was way more egregious.
So what's Tom Brady doing buying that fucking franchise or buying into it?
Oh, he's going to play like a quasi GM role, surely. I mean, he's going to have a hand in all their future draft picks and probably mentor their future quarterback. It won't be Gardner Minshew. You know, I love Gardner Minshew, but he has looked so bad with the Raiders. He's looked good with every franchise. How good did he look last year with the Colts? He's looked awful this year. What is happening in that building, man?
Role in Philly, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he was decent at the Jaguars. They just decided to take generational talent. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyway, generational what? Hey, one more team we've got to talk about, just because I think the whole NFL is talking about this team, and they are not only good fodder, but they're just so entertaining to watch. These Lions, man, you know, look, the Lions fan base has been through a lot of pain. And so it's nice to see it's totally turned the corner. But, you know, they are so fun to watch. And 52 points. I know that, like I said, I know the Titans are bad. 52 points, man. It's a big game.
4 weeks ago, they gave the Seahawks 42. Then they gave Dallas 47. Last week was 31 and just won against the Vikings. And now again, growing points for fun. And even the trick play, still Montgomery throwing a touchdown pass.
Bad. That was so cool. Yeah. The open field tackling from the Titans was abysmal, especially on punt returns, kickoff. They ate up so many meters through that. It was really quite abysmal. And John, you mentioned it. Jared Goff didn't have to do anything because the defense put him in great position so often. I think they had like one punt return for a touchdown, one like large gain, one for a touchdown. One or two actually pick sixes there might have been.
They had a punt return touchdown. They had a kickoff return, like the 10.
Yeah. It was special teams, defense. They showed all sides of the ball today were amazing, but against a very bad Tennessee team.
Yeah. Jamar Gibbs going off for another 70, 80-yarder touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown acting as a tight end or left tackle and getting an easy wide open.
Both their tight ends scored a touchdown today, so they contributed to this National Tight Ends Day. 2 out of the 16. Pretty amazing.
So does Kelsey for the first time this season.
He did too. Took him long enough.
No wonder my fantasy is actually surviving to the last game.
Well, you know, no one wants to hear about our fantasy league, but yes, Evan, you're currently up on the 7-0 Dr. Neil Ella Trashes, and we'll see what happens. Fellas, let's move beyond, and why don't we get into our 3 and out? There's only 3 of us today, so as it is when there is 3 of us, it's not the 4 downs, it is the 3 and out. Who would like to go first?
It doesn't matter because all our teams want to run on first, second, and third, so whoever wants to go.
I'm not talking about my team today, but you know, this is just a deflection. I'm just deflecting, so I'll talk about the Colts.
I'll go.
I'll talk about the Colts.
All right.
And the question to you guys, is it time to bench Anthony Richardson? What do you guys reckon? Yes?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There was a stretch where he was 2 for 13.
There was a pass he made just before the first half where all he had to do was just run it out or even throw it over, and he just threw a stupid pick.
It was awful.
Like, come on.
Look, I don't like box score scouting or looking at these statistics and passer rating this far into the season. But if you do look at that as a measure, like QBR, he's at the bottom, like very bottom. In fact, there's actually one quarterback beneath him, and it's Dorian Thompson-Robertson, and he played like a few snaps. But he is, for all intents and purposes, dead last. 57, I think it is, passer rating, which is awful. And today is emblematic of all the issues. The first quarter in that game, he actually looked pretty incredible. He's deep. He can throw a good go ball. That's great. That's amazing. And it was all go balls in the first quarter. And there was that one amazing touchdown to Josh Downs. But then in the second quarter, it all just fell apart. It was chalk and cheese. Got a little bit better in the third. It seemed like they went to the sheds and Steichen made some adjustments saying, hey, you have this amazing running back next to you. Why don't we just use him? So part of it was play calling. Let's not get it twisted. But they leveraged Jonathan Taylor a bit in the third quarter. They had some success, but then, he started throwing it medium, and it's the medium throws that are his issue. His accuracy is all over the place, really bad. And to top it all off, he had the fumble, he had the pick, whatever. It's a game management at the end. That last sequence was, I could not believe what I was watching, guys. Like, first of all, running up. Okay, he decides to run. He runs a lot, sure. Not going out of bounds with 20 seconds left. First mistake. Second mistake, throwing it up the middle, not hustling fast enough to clock it. They actually called it game. Then they reviewed it and he had 1 second left. And then ends up getting sacked anyway in the next play, game over. Above all else, he kind of quit. In the third quarter, he sat out for a couple of plays because he was tired. And look, he did a lot of running, to be fair. But, I don't know, he just doesn't have the dog in him. He's way too inconsistent. And this is a division, guys. I mean, Houston did not look that crash hot today either. I was really not impressed with them and really haven't been impressed with them since Nico Collins has been out. They've been not the same team without Nico Collins. This division for mine is up for grabs. They're a bit behind in division now, just given the losses that the Colts have had. But if they stand any chance to get into the playoffs, and I believe they can, they have a great list. Their defense today was incredible. They gave them every chance to win. They have great talent offensively. Josh Downs, Jonathan Taylor,
Pittman.
Alec Pierce, Pittman, amazing, really good talent. Both lines are great. If they stand any chance, they got to get Flacco in. I mean, the past 3 games he played, 2-1, but the one game they lost against the Jags, they're 3 points away from a comeback. So they've got to bench him and they've got to start Joe Flacco. Comeback player of the year again, baby. Let's go.
Back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, I feel you, and I actually totally agree. It's incredible how different the same offense can look, with the different quarterback under center. It's not like they've gone and fired the offensive coordinator and then decided to bring in someone else, new play calls, different quarterback to try and spark the team. Like Anthony Richardson was injured. Joe Flacco came in, did more than a respectable job, was throwing bombs. During that stretch, I think he had one of the highest passer ratings and the most amount of yardage or something like that, if not the most.
He's still sitting in the top 10. He's still sitting in the top 10 from a passer rating perspective based on 3 games.
Yeah, 3 games, right? And so, you look at the body of work and historically he's been able to get it done. He's been able to get it done in a few different places.
Oh, yeah.
There was 3
Not
plays
the
for
Jets.
the Jets. Huh?
Not the Jets.
No, he did. He went 2-1. I'm pretty sure he went 2-1. With the Jets, and he threw some amazing bombs. He did it well at the end of the year with Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
there was a point where it's like, holy shit, is he going to win the Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns? He was making a playoff run. Time and time again, Joseph Flacco proves that he should still be playing as a starter. He's still got it in him, and I don't know what the Colts are doing. I get it. You got a guy who was a rookie last year, injured most of the season, so you don't know what you have. He comes back in this year, and it's like, hey, let's see what he's able to do. At the moment, the body of work just doesn't look that great. But what do you do? Do you give up that quickly? Do you try and see, wait one more year? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a very expensive gamble. He was 4th overall in the draft before last. So it's expensive, to bench him. But don't forget, in college, how many games did he play in college? It was he had seven games with Florida, something like that. So there's not a lot of, there wasn't a big body work. I think they kind of knew he was going to be a project. And you're right, John. I mean, he had a really severe AC joint injury, and the reason why he had a severe AC joint injury last year is because he doesn't slide. And today, once again, when he made his runs, shoulder first, he's not learnt to slide, and he's just an accident waiting to happen anyway. So for mine, you bench him just to preserve him so he doesn't hurt himself further, and then send him to a desperate team like the Panthers. Because I think they're done. I think they're probably done with their number 1 overall from the same year.
Well, he just came back and played today.
Didn't look great.
No.
I know, but it just tells you that they're trying to still give it another crack. Look, I don't think that. Listen, I gotta say, I can only think of one team, the Panthers, who have ever had two, same draft, first round quarterbacks on the same team, right? So the Panthers had Baker
Newton.
Mayfield, and they had Sam Darnold at the same time. Two
Don't
players,
they
by
have
the
Cam
way,
Newton as well?
There's Newton
elsewhere
as
have.
well.
I mean, like traded for and
Oh,
acquired.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, so
yeah.
so if you've got Bryce Young on that team and you've got Anthony Richardson on that team, I find that incredibly unlikely. Also, two completely different skill sets. So you got to ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve here? Because with Bryce Young, the hope was NFL ready pocket passer. With Anthony Richardson, it's bombs down the field, escapability. So your offense is not going to be tuned both ways. I just don't see it happening. So the question is, if they're going to give up on Bryce Young and they're going to trade for an Anthony Richardson, are they prepared to change the playbook mid-season? That's a hard ask.
It's very true, and it makes no sense to have both those guys on the roster. But following the same model, and to have like an Andy Dalton, thank God, by the way, he had a car crash this past week and only got away with a broken thumb, so thank God he's okay.
you wish the car crash. Fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry, the way you said that was,
The way you
and
said
you know what? Andy Dalton, thank God he had a car crash. Otherwise, we never see Bryce Young again.
yeah. No, I had to check myself there. But no, you got to keep someone like Dalton to mentor Richardson, just like what they're doing with Bryce Young. It's just not working out with Bryce Young. But your point's still valid, even in that situation. Richardson is he's just a very different quarterback.
He's
To
very
a lot,
raw.
a lot of the veterans. A lot of the veterans out there, you kind of your traditional pocket passers, like statues in the pocket. So I don't know what you do.
If he's going to be mentored, so a passer like Anthony Richardson, if he's going to be mentored by someone, it's going to be someone with a similar archetype. So Joe Flacco is not the right mentor for
No.
Anthony Richardson
No.
because he's always been a stone in the pocket. He doesn't rush, right? So Peyton Manning was. Racking my head and going around the league, like what
That's
other
good.
mobile quarterbacks are there?
I think they give Cam Newton a call to come back
Yep.
as their backup veteran quarterback. I mean, he's still young, and he came back 2 years ago. I think they give
He's
him a
on the
call.
panel.
Sam
He's
Richardson
paid
there.
from first take. He's not coming back.
He's
The
still got,
quarterback that is waiting for a call, Colin Kaepernick.
yeah, that's what I'm going for right now, baby.
He's been waiting for a call for a very long time, and politics aside, it's never going to fucking happen.
No.
Um,
All right, I'm passing
right.
the ball here, guys. Who wants to have a next down?
Do you want me
I'll
to take
do
it,
a
Evan, or do you want to take
60-yard
it?
run. I was actually I was still leading to it because I had two. One of them was, what the fuck's happening with the Saints? Yeah, they lost Derek Carr, but boy, 6 losses in a row. The second worst record in the NFC after the first 2 weeks. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. It's a big decline they've had.
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen. But the main one I'm going to lean into, guys, is I'll send some teams into the chat if you want to see. I'm wondering who is the most fucked for the future. So, everyone, we have the Panthers, the Giants, the Titans, the Jags, the Patriots, Raiders, and Browns.
Easy
All right.
answer.
There's a lot you can go through. You can go through the Browns that unfortunately lost to Sean Watson after eat that contract. The Raiders, you don't know what's ever happening here. They got Brady, but fuck. Patriots, we know are in a rebuild, but who are they? Who are they going to trust? Are they going to keep their head coach? Fucking probably not. The Jags, are they going to be the London Jags? Like, hurry up and move there. You want to play 3 games there, you Mr. Khan, Mr. AEW, and your shitty son. The Titans, I want to trade away all their wide receivers, and the main one was AJ Brown 3 years ago, so who knows what they're doing at 1-7. The Giants, well, the Giants, I think, are the only team in the NFC East that have never taken the lead in the last 6 years. Everyone else has had the lead at one point. And obviously, Danny Jones, you fucked up with the contract. You see what Saquon Barkley's done to you. And then the Panthers, like, oh, God, you trade your number 1 pick for Bryce Young with no protection.
Evan, how do you not add to that list the Jets?
I was going to say Jets and Cowboys, haha, but at least the Jets you have Wilson in the future that can still be there. You have
If he wants to be there.
Sauce,
If
Brees
he
Hall.
wants to be there. Like, if they want to be there. But, yeah, I take your point.
The Jets probably are the Jets are like the Cowboys. The Cowboys just need people to protect. You guys need someone after Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Why don't
well,
we just combine both teams and just fucking the New York Cowboys. Fuck yeah.
okay.
Dallas already play half the division up there anyway. May as well relocate us there.
True.
We're playing blue and green. That's a nice
True.
colour scheme.
That would be disgusting. So, okay, so I'll answer your question based on the teams you got there.
Yeah.
And I'll do a really quick run through. The Browns, I actually don't believe are that fucked. I
Okay.
believe that the Deshaun Watson contract is fucked for sure, and they're just going to have to eat the money. But that being said, you look at what Jameis Winston did at that team today,
Mm.
and that just proves to you that if you can be willing to eat the contract, bench Deshaun Watson, it's probably going to be okay for the Browns. So I think that was a big thing today, massive win. The Patriots, I actually disagree with you, Evan. I think Jared Mayo will stay. I think he'll be there for a little while. I think that Kraft had been looking at a coach like him, and you got to think like the Patriots have not historically churned through coaches, right? They've given them time, and I think that you give Jared Mayo a bit of time. He's the Patriot way; it'll happen. And Drake May actually looks really good. Drake May looks decent. I mean, he's a rookie quarterback. Let's not forget. And today he got injured. It was Brissett who came in, and that's
Nasty hit as well.
sorry.
Nasty hit to the head as well.
Yeah, it was hard. What do you do, right? But yeah. So I don't think the Patriots are too fucked because they've got draft capital coming up. They haven't got a big payroll. It'll all be all right. The Jags,
I really went reverse order. So the way I've sent it is that's the correct order that I have it in. That are the most fucked.
right? So Browns, Raiders, Patriots. This is the least fucked to most fucked.
Yeah.
Jags, Titans, Giants, Panthers. I firmly believe that the Giants are very fucked. Very, very fucked.
More than
Yeah,
I think
listen,
so.
they got the Daniel Jones contract. Saquon's running up a storm, fucking in Philadelphia of all places. Like that must be hard for a Giants fan. You preference Daniel Jones, like seriously. I mean, we're not going to talk about that game because that game's tomorrow. But I expect another shitty performance out of him. But between the Giants and the Panthers, I don't know. It's like flipping a coin. Matt,
I agree, John. I think the Browns are not in a terrible, but they're in a bad situation. I mean, we can't understate how. And John, credit where credit's due. You've been saying for years, as soon as that contract was signed, you knew that it would end up this way. So kudos to you.
You got to find the video of John saying that. You got to find the
we have
video.
video.
Yeah, with video, but and you were. Yeah, no, you were very
Yeah.
confident this is where things would end up. With that said, I do have belief in, obviously the head coach is incredible. You have to give credit to him. Like working with what he's worked with, we saw what he did last year. Andrew Berry's a good GM. So all these teams have to kind of, they're not going to have the best time attracting talent. They have to build to the draft. So from a GM, I'm looking at GMs here, right? I like the Browns organization, coach, good GM. Panthers, Giants. Well, I don't mind Joe Shane from the Giants, actually. I kind of have a bit of faith. He really did not want to let Saquon go. There was the off-season hard knocks, and he was kind of pounding the table. Oh, no, wait. No, sorry, he did want to let them go, so maybe he's a shit cunt. I don't know. But so maybe you're right about that order. But I think unequivocally, the worst organization are the Panthers. I mean, and I know John's probably going to talk about trickle-down effects in his down from ownership. You look at that ownership, absolutely awful. And then from a football operations perspective, GM, I mean, what has Dan Morgan done? He's just completely fucked that franchise. He's been completely complicit in this implosion. So I think there's a bit of a gap between Panthers and everyone else in terms of how fucked they are. No doubt.
Who's got the worst run team, the Cowboys or Jets? Probably the Cowboys.
The best with the what?
Worst run, like GM.
Organizationally,
Yeah.
well, Cowboys, it's a dictatorship. I mean, it's just the Jerry Jones show, isn't it? I mean,
Then he wants to pass it to his son next year, apparently, just the GM role. That's the
the Joneses
rumor
shouldn't be GMs, man. This is the problem. Like they're owners, and they need to separate church and state here. They need to actually get a competent GM to actually make these football decisions. It's all there for the Dallas Cowboys, man. Like they're a solid brand. There is talent there, Evan, despite what you believe. Huh?
world. Yeah, most expensive brand in the world. Most valuable brand in the world. That's what it is.
Yeah, for mine, I think Jets are the far more dysfunctional for mine.
Like I said in the chat, if it was 2016, I heard Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel in the backfield. Boy, I'll be jizzing. Now I'm not. Now I'm shooting blanks at these fuckers. Just like they were blanking on the fucking rushing card. 1 yard, 2 yard.
Oi. Well, look, this is a perfect segue.
We're going to just do a halfback draw, the Jets Classic on 3rd and 8.
It has been. Perfect segue into my down boys. And you know what the crazy thing is? 2 weeks ago, I would have had energy to give this, right? Now I'm just like I'm just so miserable. I am a miserable Jets fan, and unfortunately, I think I've come to the realization that until Robert Wood Johnson, of Johnson and Johnson fame, sells the team, I just think the Jets are screwed. The Jets are fucked. Like it all started when he bought the team. Um, I was if you look at Belichick, right? Belichick was, going to be the head coach of the New York Jets. It was written in his contract. Big tuna, Bill Parcells is going to become the GM after being the coach there, head coach there. So, we had him as a defensive coordinator, Belichick. And, unfortunately, Leon Hess, the owner, dies. Shit happens. Woody Johnson buys the team. And, sort of 3 or 4 months that followed when, and it wasn't like the contract for Belichick to be a head coach was already in place. He was Parcells goes up, Belichick becomes head coach. It was implied that it was going to happen. I think it may have even been signed on before Woody became the owner. Leon Hess dies, Woody becomes the owner. He sees the dysfunction, he sees the meddling, decides not to be there. And it's just been nothing but a shit run ever since. We had 2 good years, right? We had 1 good Mangini year. We had 2 good years with Rex Ryan, and it's been all downhill ever since. And every single time, you just got to look at this and say, well, what's the common denominator? And it has to be ownership. And Matt, to your point, like we've seen this now with these toxic owners. Look at the Panthers. So this is down to about ownership in general. Like, look at the Panthers. Look at the toxicity in that organization. Of course they're never going to get it right. You look at the Commanders and what that was like. Dan Snyder goes, you bring in a guy like Dan Quinn. Culture changes because you haven't got this fucking snotty-nosed at the very top who's just fucking in everyone's faces and in everyone's business and fucking pissing people off and just doing all sorts of stupid shit in the media and coming across as an asshole. And the fan base hates you and the stadium sucks and you're trading away players.
It's the thing, man. Like, when was the last time you heard Josh Harris's name? After you brought it, you just haven't heard from him because it's like
exactly
leave it to the team.
As it should be, right? He goes, suddenly look at this team. Look what they've done in 1 year. It's not even like a rebuild. Like 1 year. Look at what they've done in 1 year. And it's going to be like that with the Jets. So for all the Jets fans out there, just buckle up. It's been fucked for 13 years. It's going to be fucked for 13 more. This guy's only like 70 years old. He's not going to die yet. He's just not going to die yet unless he, gets, I don't know, fucking some disease from his products. But this is the problem with these fucking billionaire owners who don't make their own money, because he is the great grandson of the Johnson and Johnson fucking head honcho guy, right? Great grandson. So we're talking about like 3-4 generations worth of money, and he is the typical billionaire's boy. Why doesn't my team win now? Let me go spend on this and go do that and get on this. I'm going to try and fix it. I'm going to get in and I'm going to do all this stuff. And then I'm going to go be fucking friends with Trump in London. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to fucking muck everything up. And then I'm going to fire the coach because he's Lebanese. Fucking...
Oh, guys. He's only 5 years younger than Jerry Jones. Hopefully they go together. How good would that be for us?
Waiting, right? That's your problem. Stephen Jones is waiting. So it's just these meddling owners. Like, I understand you own the team, but I've never heard of like a horse owner of fucking being the one to like feed the horse. They hire staff, and that's how you get a thoroughbred race winner. You look at the teams in the league where the owner does not meddle. Look at Robert Kraft. Now, I hate the Patriots. I fucking hate the Patriots with all of my heart and soul. There's not a team I hate on earth more than the New England Patriots, except maybe now the Buffalo Bills. But you look at the Patriots and you look at Robert Kraft, and Kraft does not meddle. He did not meddle with that team. Since he's owned it, he has not screwed with anything. He doesn't go in. He doesn't try and tinker with things. He doesn't walk in to the coach's office and fire the coach without the GM support. Okay, albeit they didn't have a GM for a long time because it was Belichick, but still, right? Like, you look at these teams who have changed head coaches, and it's decision made by a GM and that type of thing. And it's just, you don't get them in the media begging for guys like Hassan Reddick to come back. Locker room camp, that motherfucker is.
Patriots?
He did play. Yeah, he got 1 sack, and it was really a half sack because he was already down. Like, Quinton Williams already got the sack, and then he went and tapped fucking Jacoby Brissett on the head. Great. So he got his half a sack. He's working back his incentives. But, like, sitting there and, we're so desperate now, let's go trade for Devontae Adams. Bitch, you should have done that before the season started. Like, it's just, you get these owners who meddle, and we haven't seen, there's been nothing that's come out of the GM's office for like 3 months, which tells me the GM's not making any decisions. The GM's probably just sitting on his hands like, I'm waiting, I'm next. And
you look on the contrary and you look up the table or the last recent success of the Chiefs. Do any of you know the Chiefs owner's name? Have we ever heard of him? His name's Clark Hunt.
Really?
Never heard of him.
To what's he?
Mark Hunt? Yeah, great.
Carmichael.
No. Come on, guys. You know who I'm talking about?
Mark?
Kareem Hunt?
Oh, okay. Is that how you got back onto the squad? So readily.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah.
Anyway, but you're right. You haven't heard of that owner.
And he's the CEO as well, actually. CEO and owner.
Yeah.
And do
you know who owns the Steelers?
Some old guy.
But this is the thing, right? But we all know who owns the Cowboys. We all know who owns the Jets. We all know who owns the Panthers. We knew who owned the Commanders. You look at these shitty franchises who cannot break out. You know who owns the team. Who owns the Lions, guys?
God, I have no idea.
Eminem.
Who owns the Vikings?
Who owns the Seahawks?
Point made.
Jody Allen.
Jets.
Yes.
Jody Allen. Formerly Paul Allen, so it's now his estate, but managed by Jody
But you
Allen.
know what? When Paul Allen was there, Paul Allen didn't meddle.
No, you wouldn't know. No. Passive as well. Totally passive.
Yeah, totally passive, right? So anyway, look, that's my thing. I don't know how much more love. I mean, I'm going to be a Jets fan till the day I die, right? There's no team I'm going to support other than the Jets, and I'm never going to miss a game. And I still haven't missed a game. And there was a point this morning where I was like, "Do I turn this shit off?" And I didn't. It didn't matter that it was 6 a.m. and it sucked. I still watched the whole fucking thing, and I'll continue to do that. But here's what I'm going to say. Here's my call to action. If you're a season ticket holder in New York, New Jersey, the Tri-Borough area, the Tri-State area, whatever you want to call it, if you're a season ticket holder, don't renew. If you want to see something good happen next year, don't renew your fucking season tickets. Just don't do it. Like, you have no reason to go watch this shit show of a team. They're not going to win the next 11 straight and make the playoffs. This is it again, guys. It's 14 years. 14 years. It's going to be 15 again next year. Don't renew. Show the owner that we all think he's a cunt. And that he sucks. And that he doesn't deserve our money. Just show him. Don't renew your season ticket. Just fucking everybody. Just don't go. I want an empty stadium against the Texans. That's what I want. I want some billionaire Jets fan to fly out. Gary V, go buy a plane, fly it over fucking Madison Square Garden, and have it say, "Fire Woody. He's a cunt." Like, that's what I want. That's what I want from Jets fans around the world.
Not asking for much, guys.
Adam Sandler, fucking rip on the Jets in a stand-up show. Like, let's make Woody Johnson feel like a dope, so that either he just stays out of it and sells the fucking thing, because that's where it's got to go. Let's move on.
Yep.
Well said, John. Well said.
It's about all the energy I got to give it.
Fire Woody. If only he could be fired.
If only he could be fired. Well, I mean, he could be by Donald J. if he does a poor job as the delegate to London, where he almost bought Chelsea. Evan, you got away with that one. He almost bought the soccer team.
So if Trump gets back in, would he be the delegate again?
I fucking hope so. I sure hope so. He's got to go. Something's got to happen.
How did you guys go through those 4 years when Trump was president? Not that good either.
Unfortunately, because he got his brother to do it all. Another little fucking rich little kid. You know? Dollars.
Let's just find the plane and just shoot it down.
What'd you say?
Just find their $1 billion plane and shoot it down.
Oh,
Evan, I'm not a terrorist. Unfortunately, those guys are the terrorists. Okay? Those guys are the terrorists.
Woody Johnson thought your former head coach was a terrorist.
No. Alhamdulillah, he's not a terrorist, okay?
But yeah, they probably thought he was.
No, he's not a terrorist.
No, I agree.
You know what? Do
My
you know
boy.
what? Just to really ignite flames, sometimes you got to ask yourself, how's a terrorist born? I'm going to leave it at that.
Move on.
Yeah, move on.
Let's get into
Move
some
on.
games this week. Matt, are there any games you want to highlight this week?
You know, the early window is pretty trash, though I will pick one from the early window, and it is the 5-3 Broncos at the 5-3 Ravens. Just because they're both 5-3. But
Come on, Matt. You're missing a great tank bowl game.
well, I'm
Panthers Saints.
not. Jesus, we're not talking about.
One at 7, 2
Although
at 6.
that's probably harder to pick, to be fair, because we're probably all going Baltimore, I'd imagine, right?
I don't know.
It's
No,
they surely got to bounce
It's going
back.
to be Baltimore. It's going to be Baltimore, and it's going to be a crazy fantasy week for me.
So you're picking that just you're manifesting. You're manifesting, right? That Lamar and Derrick Henry go off because they go off every week anyway, right? But
Yeah, but they're really going to go off. Is this really the game of the week?
it's not the game of the week.
No.
I'm saying it's the best of the early window. There are better ones in the late window. It's a
Not
pretty
good.
bad. It's a pretty bad week.
Cowboys are
Talk
bad.
about the Broncos.
Yeah.
Fuck that
Okay.
franchise.
Well, let's swift. Yeah.
Falcons Cowboys ain't bad.
What's that?
Falcons Cowboys are good. I can't wait for Kyle Pitts to put up 2 touchdowns again.
No, instead he's going to have one reception for one touchdown this game because it's how they are with Atlanta.
Would you like to talk about Falcons Cowboys? Do you want to review
Bijan
that?
Robinson, 180 rushing yards. Can't wait.
Is that what you think?
No.
Dalvin Cook, 3 fumbles. Ezekiel Elliott, 2 fumbles.
All right, fuck
Mate,
it. All right, let's talk about that then. All right, so
I'll give Dallas the
What
benefit
do
of the doubt. Like we are down DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, and our 3rd and 4th defensive ends. So we actually are on our 5th and 6th defensive ends now. So it's hard to get to a quarterback, sack him. We haven't had a takeaway or fumble in 4 weeks. So it has to be a shootout. But you saw Dak today when the chips are down, he just throws it out of bounds. Honestly, I reckon it'll be the kickers, Koo versus Aubrey.
yeah,
The 50
that's a great matchup. Two of the finer kickers.
True.
Is it true that Brandon Aubrey was on jury duty?
Yeah, jury duty. Yeah, he was. He had to
Brandon
drive
Aubrey was on jury duty.
Yeah, he missed Wednesday and Thursday practice to go jury duty because he
So
wanted
he
to
has
sign
to
up for
go
his
jury
criminal
duty
case.
even though he plays in the NFL.
Yeah,
Well, no one. But hang on a second. He's Canadian.
technically he wasn't a recognised player
Why?
What?
because he wasn't recognised. That's the actual reason for him being selected.
Was he actually selected though? I mean, how long's the trial?
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday. I think they were saying today on Sunday Night Football it's probably like 3 weeks. It's a full-on criminal case.
What?
Three
How
weeks
a footballer is not bloody exempt? Not recognised. He's a bloody
Well, it's-
kicker. He's a starting kicker of one of the
Yeah,
biggest teams
he's
in the
only
NFL.
missed. Technically, he's only missed one, and that was blocked against the Giants.
Hang on a
He's
second. And guys, we're missing the main part. Isn't he Canadian?
I thought he was British,
He
wasn't
played
he?
in the Canadian League. I think he's American.
Brandon Aubrey.
Probably. I don't know. I don't
Was
know
he?
the history of his family.
I thought Brandon
Oh,
Aubrey was like from the UK or something. Like he's like international pathways, isn't he?
Brandon Aubrey is an American.
Really?
Multi-sport athlete. He's a soccer player, and then he played in the CFL, and then now the NFL.
Oh, he's American. Okay.
He played for Toronto. That's probably why you're confused.
Thrilling conversation, fellas.
Yeah, but kickers, mate. What about what they were saying on the Kelsey podcast? They should narrow the post because all the 60-yarders, it's like an 80% conversion rate from 50 and out this year. It's like
Hey, they need to start checking steroids, man. Steroids on kickers.
100%. Get that leg. Greg the leg. You don't want to speak about
Oh,
him.
don't talk to me about Greg the Leg. Can we not talk about the Jets anymore?
Let's not talk about
Like-
kickers anymore.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so,
Like
so,
that.
so despite the injury concerns, Evan, who have you got for the Dallas Cowboys and Atlanta Falcons and
You know
why?
what? I don't think Dak has lost 3 in a row in his career, so let's just go Dallas by 2 points. Fuck it. 26-24.
Right. Yeah, Atlanta, unlike like when obviously not great against the Hawks 2 weeks ago, we just played a complete game. The Bucks divisional game, good win, but we know the Bucks are complete. Like talk about injuries, but they have no offense left. So Atlanta are looking shaky, and this is like desperation time for Dallas. I think Atlanta can probably afford to drop a game or two, just given that division and all the other teams are just limping at the moment. So I think out of pure desperation, it's got to be Dallas. 31. 24.
31 points.
31.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not that
It needs to be a
confident.
statement. They got to beat up on old man Cousins, man. 31-24. 31-24.
I'll give you a statement.
Mm.
31-13, Falcons.
Falcons. That's a statement.
I'll tell you why. The Cowboys aren't who we thought they were.
No, they're pretty bad, yeah.
The Cowboys aren't who we thought they were. The Cowboys aren't who we thought they were. Listen, they got some injuries on the defense. Like, it's tough at the moment. You got Trayvon Diggs telling reporters to, what is it? What did he say? Like, listen to these nuts or something like that. It's like ask these nuts or something. I don't know. They've got all the hallmarks of a typical New York Jets style locker room implosion, and I can see that happening and going down faster than the fucking submersible, the Titanic. Because seriously, when you start like yelling at reporters, that's usually a sign that things are not going well. I think Fat McCarthy is going to be done after this year.
Big Bill coming in has to, please.
Could be Big Bill. Yeah, listen, because you're keeping Dak, you're keeping CD, you're hoping that you can fix him. Josh McDaniels will come back in there and be the offensive coordinator. You know what? It'll happen.
Maybe offensive, definitely not coach.
Well, he's not going to be the coach, no. And then it might be a little bit different. But yeah, I just think that the Falcons looked really good today. They look like really, really good.
They get the running game and they can actually pass to a player.
That Tampa Bay defense is not. They're a good defense, Matt.
No, they're not. They've been leaking points all year. You fucking kidding me? Go to look at their scores, man. It's been shootouts. Their defense is trash.
Sometimes you got to forget the scores, man.
Watch the games, bro. Seriously, they are leaky. Come on, man. It's leaky. No. I'm sorry, they're very soft. Their secondary is...
But don't break. They're not
which
that
is crazy, by the way. Todd Bowles like a great defensive coach, which is why it's so crazy that they're doing so poorly on defense.
Yeah,
they're
up and down the defense.
Down. Mostly
26,
down.
26 against the Broncos, 16 against Philly, 36 against Atlanta the first time. I remember that game we reviewed for Thursday night. 27 against the Saints, 41 against the Ravens, fair enough, and then another 31 against the Falcons.
A lot of points. Leaky.
Yeah, but
we'll see. Give us one more game to talk about, Matt.
Oh, I'll give you a few more. Let's go to Glendale, where we have the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Chicago Bears. Both, as we said, Arizona top of the division. Bears not out of it. I mean, they're 4-3.
Unlucky
bad loss today, unfortunately. But look, two teams that are relatively similar positions in their division. They're probably chasing a wild card spot. Hey, Kyler Murray's on a tear right now. 11 touchdowns, 3 picks. Caleb Williams really coming into his own the past 3-4 weeks. I think this is going to be a really, really entertaining game. The matchup predictor has it basically 50-50. What way are we going, guys?
I'm going to go off pure stats. The Bears haven't won an away game all year. They're 0-3, and they're going to be 0-4. Marvin Harrison, I'm going to put him... No, you know what? No, I'm going to keep him on my bench, and he's going to score 2 touchdowns.
You're talking your book again, Evan. So is this... Are they actually 0-3 on the road? So they're home
0-3 on the road, 4-0 at home.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it should be a good game. Arizona's edged out Miami today. Again, like you said, the Niners are going to be on their heels. These little games, little games, every game's big now, but these games where you're at home, you just need to get it done at the end of the day. So I think James Conner as well in the backfield.
Yeah.
Arizona.
I agree, man. James Conner's been an absolute beast in the backfield. Man, he's already clocked over 560 yards and hard yards too. He's a through the teeth type runner. So I agree. Though I do think this will be the first road victory for the Chicago Bears. It is it's a tough division. Like they're really going to have to just keep up with the rest there with Green Bay, and well, the whole freaking division. Man, they're all like still really fucking good. So
Division's great.
I think similar to before, Arizona can probably afford to drop one here, but I just think the Bears are better, and we'll go Bears on the road. 27-24, close one.
So, I think you guys need to learn to do some research in advance.
Why is that?
Now, Matt, you're right. Evan, you're wrong. And I'll tell you why. But, Matt, you're not as right as you think. The scoreline is going to be way worse.
Oh.
Be way worse. Chicago is going to absolutely dominate this game. Kyler Murray is going to just throw 3 interceptions, no tutties, poor pass. Do you know why?
Why?
Guys, what's the date?
Oh, no. Black Ops.
Yesterday.
I forgot about Black Ops. Holy
Yesterday.
shit.
Yesterday. So we know what Kyler's going to be doing all week. We know what Kyler's going to be doing. And you see the Twitch stream set up, and you see the headset come on, and he ain't looking at the playbook, and the iPad that's got the plays is in the bin, and he's sitting there, and he's doing nothing but playing Black Ops on his big 85-inch television.
I can't believe there's 6 Black Ops now. I can't believe
surely
there's 6.
Digit TV. He'll have a 100-incher with that contract.
100-incher? What are you talking about?
Right, 100-inch TV.
The Samsungs are big nowadays.
Where have you really seen a 100-inch TV? It's not about the money. It's about the availability of the product.
Yeah, well, fucking, they're in America. They can get it anywhere. Walmart, probably. Because we can't get it at fucking Harvey Norman.
Walmart. Imagine going to Walmart and buying a 100-inch TV. You can't even fit it in a pickup truck. Anyway, yeah, so I think that
the Bears.
I think it's going to be bad news this week. And then all the chitty chatter about him and, you know, and his commitment to the game, it's going to come back out again because he's committing to the wrong game. That's what I think is going to happen this week. Mm-hmm. Matthew, next game.
This is probably the game of the week. Same division. Yep. Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Surely game of the week.
Oh, yeah. Draw.
I'd be happy with the draw. 41-41. Or that.
Ooh.
Maybe a 1 on the scoreline. 11-11.
Yeah. Evan?
What do you reckon? Evan.
Where we are we at Lambeau? We at Ford?
We're at Australia.
They're at Lambeau.
Yeah. Lambeau Field. It's a 4 p.m. kickoff. Is it going to be cold? I'm not good with the weather. Is it cold in Green Bay yet? Is it? Who's fucking getting arrested? Is that you, Matt? The cops in the background.
What's that?
That ain't me.
Oh, the cops. Yeah, that's me. That was me.
It's definitely going to get spotted. I'm going to go.
I'm going to arrest you for that hairdo.
I'm going to go Detroit. Detroit 28-20. Definitely like a trick touchdown in there. Trick fucking quarterback going to sneak it or fucking, I don't know. He's going to do something, but we're going to be excited for it. But actually, I'll say one thing about Detroit. All the fans, all the players can talk because they've been through shit. There is one player that I cannot stand that is on national television every day that talks shit, and that's Dan Orlovsky. That man has no fucking right to talk shit after what he's done as a career.
I agree.
You ran at the back of an end zone and you went 0-16. You have no right to talk shit about Dallas, no shit to talk about New York, no shit to talk about Philly. You should even be on the desk. What do you know, dickhead?
That's true.
He was the fucking third quarterback that year, wasn't he? Or second?
That's true. Dan Orlovsky. Yeah, he's got no
right. Being a backup at the 0-16 team. How bad are you, bro? That is an intro. Want to talk shit about Dallas?
Oh, that's too good. That's too good. Yeah, it just, you know. But how about Stephen A?
But again, like he's just baiting the Cowboys fans. He's smart. He knows how to get the views, and that's why I have to be the person that's trying to get us views that attacks him, that gets an Australian versus American debate. But I doubt that's going to happen. Why would you want to listen to some Aussie? But again, have you heard Stephen A. Smith talk about anything else besides football? Have you heard him speak about the UFC? Dumb cunt.
Matt, honestly, do you imagine if we can arrange Stephen A. versus Evan Giannaros, the debate?
Oh, I'd love that. I'd like to moderate that.
No. We're not moderating that. Shannon Sharp's moderating it.
Oh,
because he's a dumb horse. because Shannon Sharp's going to moderate it, and
Live
Ocho
stream?
Cinco is going to run sideline on
Well,
that.
didn't I? He'll do live stream.
Yeah.
Instagram Live.
Oh God. Anyway, let's move on. Do you want to give us one more game, Matt? Maybe.
Well, I don't know if
Otherwise
you had a prediction for Detroit and.
31-31 tie.
Oh, you actually, are you reckon to tie? I actually think Green Bay will win. I'm going to amend.
Ooh.
I think Green Bay actually wins this one. For no reason other than the fact that the Detroit have just been so high for so long.
Mm.
There are cops actually after me. Sorry, one sec. What is going on out there? They are a really well coached team. And the only concern, obviously, is the extent of Jordan Love's injury. Assuming he's healthy, I think they win. If not, probably Detroit. But I don't know, feeling Green Bay for this one. You want to stick with your 31-31, John? Do you think it'll be a draw? I actually think it'll be a draw.
31-31, my friend.
Okay, well, the rest of the games here, we can talk about the NFC West, the Rams at Seattle. If the Rams win this, they go top of the division, assuming Arizona don't win. Let's talk about that. Rams at Seattle. Rams at Seattle. Look, I'll lead us off, and I've spoken about the division enough. I mean, monumental importance for the LA Rams. If they do win this, obviously massive. They go to the top of the division, and what a turnaround. Just to think that this past week, Thursday night, had they lost that, the rumour mill was running so wild that Stafford was going. Cooper Kupp is on the trading block. They're receiving calls, and I think they openly admitted that they were receiving calls, whether they were taking it seriously or not. They would have probably taken them seriously had they lost that game. And just in the space of 2 weeks, they have gone from shipping everyone off to, hey, let's make a run. So I actually think Rams do win. I've got to be honest. I know it's off the back of one performance, but offensively, that was a complete total masterclass against a reasonably good defense in Minnesota. And the inconsistency offensively for us is real concerning. If we do put a full performance together like we did against Atlanta, maybe. But I just get a feeling it'll be a classic Geno does something stupid on 1 or 2 drives, makes the difference. And I'm going to go LA 27, Seattle 17.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry to say.
I'm going to go contrary. I'm going to go 31-28 Seattle. It's going to be a wide receiver battle between Cooper Kupp, because Nakul will be double covered this time. Not DK Metcalf, but Jackson Smith and Jigba for 100 yards.
He's playing well. Yeah.
100 yards, Jackson Smith.
Wow, there you go.
I hope you're right.
Score?
I hope you're right.
Score.
But 31-28, Geno, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
You didn't even think about that at all. You're just like, oh, fuck it. Sounds about
No,
right.
he said at the start. He said 31.
It sounds like
Yeah.
I'll score the right score. That you'd wake up and oh, that seemed like a good game.
And then never watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just talk about it. Just watch the podcast once a week.
That's bullshit. Why didn't he catch one? That's what I do half the time when I look at the stats. Why the fuck did DK not catch fucking 10 balls?
Yeah. Well, for me, I have Seattle winning this in a nail-biting 18-15 field goal extravaganza.
Pardon me?
No touchdowns.
15 field goal extravaganza.
Okay. I hope you're both right. I hope there is a Seahawks win.
Seattle, 1 touchdown, 2 field goals, 1 safety.
There's been a few safeties. There have been some safeties this year, huh?
At one point, the scoreline today was 2-5 or 2-3.
7 was it? No, 8-5 at half.
No, yeah, but at one point
it was 2-3 for most of the first quarter.
First quarter, 2-3.
Yeah, I mean that is a Jim Harbaugh game. If that's a Jim Harbaugh game, isn't it?
I found that quote for you, John. Trayvon Diggs said, "Stay in your lane." I don't know what that means, but he didn't stay in coverage. Fucking dickhead.
Yeah, but then he said something about D's nuts.
Got him. Not a game prediction, but boy, the AFC East is the Bills to lose.
Well, yeah, now it is. Yeah,
Fucking,
it wasn't
you
meant to
reckon the
be.
Dolphins could get it done? No chance.
Dolphins, the 2-5 Dolphins.
Against the 6-2 Bills.
Let's
Fuck, look.
let's talk about one more game before we move on to multis and garbage and whatever else we've got to talk about. We'll talk about the Colts at Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings are on a 2-game slide. Does it continue? Does Anthony Richardson start?
Yes.
Oh, surely Minnesota gets out of the slump. If they lose
Minnesota
3 in a
gets
row, they're
done
not
with
making the playoffs.
these. Unfortunately, they won't learn their lesson. They'll keep starting Anthony Richardson, try and get what they can out of him because they drafted him high. They got no choice. The NFL doesn't sit quarterbacks anymore. Like the only team that's actually drafted a quarterback recently and decided to sit that quarterback properly sit that quarterback to learn is the Green Bay Packers. And I'm pretty sure if I rack my brain and go back further, the last team to go ahead and do that again with a first round draft pick was the Green Bay Packers. So
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes sat for 1 year. That's true. Mahomes, and then before him,
And Brady. Was it the same year? Was it the same year?
Brady doesn't
Where are
count.
you going?
Brady was
Where
not
was
drafted
2000?
because he was a first round draft pick. Brady was drafted in the 6th round. They didn't know what they had in Tom
We
Brady.
talk about. We're sorry, I didn't know we were talking about first round picks. I thought we meant drafted
Patrick
quarterbacks in
Mahomes
general.
was like the 7th round, wasn't he?
What?
Of course, we're talking about first. We're talking about Patrick.
I missed that part.
Yeah,
Let's talk about Kurt Warner and Tony Romo getting benched as well as drafted. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, anyway. So I don't know, but yeah, I think that unfortunately they trot him out. So therefore, the Minnesota Vikings probably win this game, and I'm going to say I don't know, fucking something stupid like 35-13.
Wasn't it the same score you said for Dallas
Yeah,
and Atlanta?
right. Well, that's what's going to happen again. No, I said 31 Dallas.
I wonder if
35-13.
or maybe you can chat GBT. Has there ever been exact same score like 3 or 4 times in the exact same week? Do you get what I mean?
No.
I think
Like,
there
say
would
if it's
be. Yeah.
Like in 2017, it's happened 5 times in 1 week. Like that exact same score.
Yeah, I think there's been the same. I feel there's been a number of occasions where there's been like at least 2 games having the same score. But I wonder, you're right, what's like the most amount of games that have the same score within 1 week?
I don't know, but what I will say, here's a little bit of trivia for you because this is the last thing I looked up NFL related. I don't know the answer to that. But Evan was asking me a question. He said, has there been an instance in the NFL where a team won a game by only scoring defensive touchdowns? What do you think the answer to that is, Matt?
Yes, and it was the Jets.
No.
Damn it,
We have to go back to October 16, 1977, when the Vikings beat the Packers 13-7. In this game, the Vikings scored 2 defensive touchdowns and missed a kick, and the Green Bay Packers scored 1 defensive touchdown.
Wow.
That's just so funny, right? Like, that's an absolute extreme. Yeah, 77. No, only defenses scored that day. Anyway. Actually, hang on a second. The Vikings and Green Bay Packers. That's a game that's coming up soon. That'll be another good one. I suppose the division rivals. So it's good for that game to be a division rivalry. I'm rambling. Let's talk about the multi.
Are we going to go 1 each?
Yes. Okay, let's go 1 each. Now, how did we fare last week, guys?
We didn't have one, did we?
No, the week before we fucked it, eh?
Yeah, week before week. Oh, that was the field goal
The
one.
Texans. It was a field goal. Almost. How much was that going to win us, Evan?
1,290.
1,290 and 1 field goal, guys. 1 field goal. What do you do? What do you do? Well,
I'm going to lead us off with an easy one. Vikings at $1.30 to beat the Colts.
Matthew.
Oh, Matty.
Fuck it, why not? Carolina Panthers, the line +6.5. I like it. They'll get close. So I'm going Carolina Panthers +6.5, $1.98.
You know what? I don't know why Carolina's paying $3.15 to New Orleans $1.37 when New Orleans don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, this game, the odds for this look completely screwy. The Saints have looked completely awful.
I'd definitely put like $50 on Carolina to see what happens.
Head to
head.
Head to head.
Yeah, absolutely. Not in this multi, but in that game. However, that being said, I am going to ride the Jameis Winston hype train.
Ooh.
Cleveland, 13+.
Where are they? Oh, they're against the Chargers.
Yeah.
Paying $2.14, you want to go 13 plus? Fair enough.
What's 13 plus?
14 plus, 14.
What's 14 plus?
$7.70.
Okay, no, don't go 14 plus. Just go head to head. Head to head, Cleveland.
Head to head, $2.14. The multi's not bad, $5.50.
All right, so you put a 50 banger on that this week, everybody.
It's $275.
There you go. We're not going to go 5 place this time. I'm very apologetic to anybody who listened to me. I was very, very close. I was a field goal away in fact. Field goal away, which happens to be my luck every single week. I had a multi on this week, just in case anyone would like to know how well my record fares. And let me pull this up because here is what it was. Are we ready? First of all, take a look at this photo, everybody. Tick, 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 tick. But thank you very much, Baltimore Ravens, you assholes. I
know the shortest odds,
Philadelphia,
aren't they?
Detroit, Houston, Green Bay, Arizona, and Baltimore.
Fuck.
Baltimore were the shortest odds, weren't they? $1.20?
Baltimore were $1.23. I mean, Philly were the outsiders at $2.20. Arizona was an outsider at $2.70, and that one didn't look like it was. I thought that one was the one that was going to fail this week, not Baltimore. So, Jameis, fucking everyone else, thank you very much. How about we get into garbage time? It's the smelliest, it's the stinkiest, it's the best of all the segments, and Evan might have garbage time as a question, or he might have garbage trivia. I'm not too sure. Which way are you going this week, Evan?
Ooh, maybe we just do one on one. One of the trivia, one of the question.
Quiero más dos.
Like, what's my sponsor? I don't have a sponsor. Let's just. The sponsor this week is sponsored by the New York Jets Time Management.
Clock
We're
management.
running out of time right now because my fucking laptop's about to die. Just like the Jets season.
All right. Thanks,
Anyway.
mate. So speak through it.
So, do you want to go for the... Let's go for the NFL question. I got 2. Fuck, I'll just do 2 and then the quick fucking... Anyway. How many NFL teams wear green?
2.
Matt?
Yeah, them Jets and Packers, right?
Wrong. Next guess.
3. Philly were green.
Wrong, Matt.
4 because the Seahawks were green as well.
Name them. Name the 4 teams.
Seahawks, Jets, Philly, and Packers.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. Now, this is going to be... I don't have all the teams here. How many teams wear blue?
Oh,
Giants.
No, wait, no. Just a number. I just want a number from either of you. See who's closest.
Six.
Yeah.
6.
5.
13.
Hang on. Wear blue. Wait. Hang
Does it
on
have blue in the logo or like predominant?
Away
No,
jersey,
blue, like
ivory.
a home jersey blue. So we have
13?
we have the Bills.
Okay.
We have the Patriots. We have the Texans. We have the Colts.
Hold on. The Texans.
Titans. We have the Cowboys. We have the Giants.
It's like a deep blue.
We have the Seahawks. We have the Rams. We have the Lions.
The Rams are not known for their blue.
Panthers. Shocking, guys. But anyway, the question.
Just like the question.
Garbage time is really garbage today.
What would you? I don't know if I've said
Like
this before,
Aldi
but I've gone through the other questions. Surprisingly, I haven't asked this. What is the worst choke job? The 28-3 Falcons Patriots, or the one we don't talk about often, 27-0 Chargers over Jags.
Oh, but they lost. Yeah. The second half comeback from the Jags.
Yeah.
Well, one was in the Super Bowl, so I think case closed.
Put
Really?
it in isolation. Like you mean putting the occasion aside, just the actual
Occasion side, like what was the worst choke? Like if you're watching the game, like what the fuck? How do you choke that?
I still feel like the Super Bowl one was just with the amount of time left because it was halfway through the third quarter. At least there's a whole half to chase down 27 points for the Jags. It was bad. Don't get me wrong. Like to concede more than 27.
Weren't the Chargers at home as well? Or was the Jags at home?
It would have been Jags hosting because they would have won their division. And because Chargers wouldn't have won the division, obviously, to be on the road.
So funny, right? Like that game, I remember exactly where I was.
I remember telling you because you went at a function or a wedding.
No,
or something?
I was in Byron Bay on holiday, and I was going to a macadamia farm with my eldest daughter, and just to smash macadamias and have a bit of fun on the farm. And I remember I was listening to the game on the way, and I was just laughing like, "Oh my god, they're copping it!" They're absolutely Jags are copping it. And it was halftime when I got to where I needed to get to, about an hour drive. I went in, had fun, got back in the car, and I got back in the car, and I put the game back on, and I'm hearing, and they're lining up for what could be the game-winning field goal, and I'm like, fucking game-winning field goal. Were we listening to the same game? Was I listening to the game right? And then I realized what had happened, and I fucking could not believe it. Could not believe it. I rang Evan. I'm like, "Oh, what the hell happened in this game?" And he's like, "Bro, you're never gonna guess it." It was fantastic. Yeah, yeah.
What's Staley doing nowadays with his life?
He's
Brandon Staley?
I think he's I'm pretty sure he's the D. No, he's not a coordinator even. He's like a defensive position coach in, I want to say, I think it might even be, I might be Green Bay.
He's the assistant head coach for the San Francisco 49ers.
Staley.
How did he learn that one?
Oh, well, that explains a lot. Is he actually at San Francisco? That's unbelievable.
The assistant, yeah. It says, who is the assistant head coach?
Hang on. He's the assistant head coach. You know what that means, don't you? Get my fucking coffee, you
100% it is. 100%.
Get my coffee, Brandon. Come and learn from me.
What about that guy that holds back Sean McVay on the sideline so he doesn't run on the pitch?
What?
The pullback guy.
I'd do that job. That'd be a great job. There's been a few of those. Yeah. Well, you know where Robert Saleh ended up, don't you?
Lebanon.
Green Bay. Green Bay. Yeah, he's a Green Bay.
Hezbollah. He's a Green Bay.
Yeah.
He's a Green Bay.
Something like, how good would the world be if Aaron Rodgers watches Green Bay and Salah win a Super Bowl?
I'd love it. Honestly, at this point, I'd love it because, listen, not to fucking loop back around on the Jets, but again, ownership decisions, right? So fancy this. If your defense is playing lights out, and the Jets defense to start the season was playing lights out, right? You fire the head coach. Why would you make the defensive coordinator the new head coach? Look at what's happened to the defense ever since. We could not stop. The Patriots had the ball with 2 minutes left and drove down the field on us, on our defense, and scored a touchdown with Jacoby Brissett under center. A team that 4 weeks ago, we beat 24-3. Same team, right? Like, how does that happen? So why would you fire the head coach halfway through the season, create all this dysfunction? Apparently all the players have been devastated that Salah got fired. You fire the fucking head coach, and then his replacement comes from the only department that is actually playing well. And then you wonder why the wheels are falling off the defense. Maybe because he's trying to call plays on the defense now and be the head coach, and he doesn't know what he's doing because he's never fucking done the job before. Like, come on. This is the head coach. This is the owner meddling like he's the head coach, like he's the GM, and he fucking shouldn't.
Actually, I just found one last question, especially for National Tight Ends Day. CBS did a top 10 list of the best tight ends since the year 2000. Try and name them in order. We'll go from one down.
Antonio Gates? No, Rob.
Number 4.
Gronkowski was number 1, probably.
Yep.
I'd say Tony Gonzalez is probably number 2.
Number 3.
Number 3. Ooh. So did they put
Kelsey already? They surely put Kelsey in.
2?
Yeah.
Kelsey 2.
3 was Gonzalez. I would argue that's the opposite. 4 is
Gates.
So that means, would say 4 is Antonio Gates. 5 would totally be Jermichael Finley.
No.
I
don't know why I had to look down for that. No.
Tight end. Kittle?
No. Very famous commentator.
Shannon Sharp.
Wilson.
Jason Witten.
Jason
Witten, number 5.
Yeah.
Where'd they put Greg Olsen, your favorite, on the list?
7.
Yeah, go Greg Olsen.
He's on there. Yeah. He's on there. Okay, hang on a second.
Number 6.
Number 6.
NFC South.
Right now?
Oh, no, he's not playing anymore. Retired.
But he was on the NFC South. In the NFC South.
NFC South. Then he jumped
Jimmy Graham?
Yep, Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham, damn.
Yeah.
Number 8 played for the Giants. I don't
Uh,
remember him playing this guy.
uh, uh, David Tyree.
That's wide receiver.
Oh, it is, isn't it? On the Giants, tight end on the
Jeremy
Giants.
Jeremy
Oh,
Shockey.
Jeremy Shockey. Yeah. And he ended his career in the Panthers.
What year did he play? Early 2000s or
Yeah.
mid?
Early
Again,
mid 2000s.
again, people hearing this, I wouldn't know. I didn't watch NFL that early. Number 9, San Fran again. Oh, sorry, San Fran for the first time, but not the
Yeah.
repeater.
You're talking about Vernon Davis.
The famous man that cried on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, R.I.P.
And number 10, Steelers, with a very white name. He could be white.
Not Freermuth.
Up.
Wait, why did I say? I thought Vernon Davis died, didn't he?
Did he?
No, sorry.
That's,
I'm going to retract that. He did not. Thank God.
I think he's still alive, isn't he? Yeah, it's
Is
40
it
still alive.
Vontae? Maybe Vontae passed away? I thought one of them. Yeah, Vontae Davis died.
Oh, he was the one on what's it called? Oh, he was the one on
Oh,
Hard
no.
Knocks.
Only
Yeah.
35.
Oh, he died on April Fool's. Spewing. But
Fucking
yeah,
hell.
number 10, Heath Miller for the
Heath Miller,
Steelers.
yeah. Heath Miller. He played,
Damn.
played with, huh? Yeah, remember him? Mate, he was a number one target of Mr. Ben Roethlisberger. And also, I heard, a very good wingman in the bars.
You heard.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Who's your favourite tight end at the Jets, John?
Oh, I can. So my favorite tight end of the Jets would have to be. Oh, it's tough, man. We haven't had very many good tight ends. I'm just trying to think. Someone else go. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite Seahawk tight end?
Well, similarly, we haven't had very many good ones,
Graham.
but Jimmy Graham. Yeah, I mean, he's probably the highest profile one we've had, really. So, though I did like Luke Wilson when he was there as well. Like, he was probably...
Yeah.
What
Do
about
you know
Noah
what?
Fant?
I have to say, I reckon actually I can tell you who my favorite was, but Kellen Winslow too. So his father was
Junior?
a Hall of Famer tight end, yeah. Um, Kenneth Winslow. I'll tell you why. He got arrested for masturbating in his car out the front of a Target.
I think we brought this up last year. I remember that.
You know, but otherwise, I would say my favorite was probably Dustin Keller, Sanchez days.
Do you know what? I remember Jason Witten and I was going to say Pablo Escobar, but it was fucking, I forgot his name. It was George Escobar, maybe? But,
I don't know. I don't know. I know
remember
that
him on Madden, it was pretty
for sure Aaron
Gavin
Hernandez would be.
Escobar.
Aaron
Shout out
Hernandez
Gavin
would for
Escobar.
sure be
Or Matt
favorite.
Swansky. Matt started to cry about fucking Noah Fant.
I think Matt's computer ran out of battery like yours is about to. That's probably a sign that we should go. We should wrap this up. This has been an hour and 22 minutes. This has been lovely. Doing it virtually. I quite like doing it virtually. Comfort of our own home. Video instantly available. How good is this? No cameras to set up. Makes life easy. So on that note, I am always going to say, like, subscribe, share, all the cool shit we'd like you to do. Rebrand coming soon. I keep plugging that because it is going to happen and I want you to be ready for it when it happens. Working on it at the moment. And Matt comes back just in time to say that Kellen Winslow II was your favorite tight end, right?
No.
Did you know who Kellen Winslow is? My favorite tight end of the Jets.
Just say yes.
Okay.
Is it? Yeah, just say
You know
yes.
what happened to Kellen Winslow II?
No. What happened?
Well, his father is a Hall of Fame tight end for Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And Kellen Winslow II, at the moment, he's in jail.
Oh.
Because he got caught masturbating in his car out the front of a Target.
That's classy.
It is, isn't it?
How do we
He was aiming.
You reckon Mitch's favorite tight end is the one and only Aaron Hernandez?
Hernandez, yes. Surely.
Yeah, definitely Aaron Hernandez. Without
Another man that was in jail for a little bit.
Hey, Kenneth
For a
Winslow
period.
played for the Seahawks.
Did he?
Yep.
That's where you got called masturbating in Seattle.
But as a practice spotter, I'm just looking at it here personally. Wow, here we go. Hang on a second. Legal history. Let's see. Kenneth Winslow, charged with drug possession in 2014. That's
Who
pretty bad.
hasn't been?
2018, he was arrested fleeing a mobile home, so he became trailer trash because it was burglary. Holy shit! Far out. But he was able to post a $2 million bond. So
Damn.
what's he fucking doing? And then there was some other shit, and he did some pretty awful shit that I'm not going to mention. Fuck, that's fucked up. But he tried to say that CTE was the reason why. I encourage everyone to look it up. It's some pretty fucked up shit. But he said that it was CTE. What a great excuse.
The Chris Benoit excuse.
Maybe he wasn't. They didn't list the masturbation here. Who was the Jets
Bro.
tight end and who was caught?
Oh, for fuck's sake, I just read it. November 4. Hey, it's nearly a year. It's nearly, next week will be 5 years since that day.
Oh no, it was Kellen Winslow. Yeah, in his Cadillac Escalade. He was still with the Jets. Listen to this headline. You ready?
Go for it.
You ready?
That's the chat.
Headline on the Daily Mail: illegal use of hands.
That is brilliant.
Illegal use of hands. Witnesses believe Jets Kellen
Was it
Winslow
5 yards?
masturbating in his Cadillac Escalade. Illegal use of hands. That's
Did
just
he accept the penalty?
illegal use of hands. Hands on the shaft. Fucking
Anyway.
that's brilliant. Well, I
Is
think
that how we're going to end the episode? Kellen Winslow, motherfuckers.
Kellen, no, because the rest of his crimes I do not condone at all,
Check the
and I'm
chat
not even
now.
going to say them. I'm not even going to say them. So on that note, why don't we bid a bon voyage and say it sucks to be us this week. All our teams lost except for the Patriots. So how about a fuck you, Mitch?
Yep.
Nah, can't do that to Mitch.
Wouldn't
Fuck the
do it.
Pats. How about fuck the Pats? That's all right.
No, what have they done wrong?
Only
Fuck
winning
the
team this
Chiefs.
week.
7-0.
Well, they've only won 2 games. So they've done a lot wrong. All right. Well, how about we finish with a I don't know. Stale ending, guys. People aren't going to subscribe if we don't come up with something good.
I got one. Fucking what's his? I don't know what his first name is. Right, give me a sec. Lighting up fantasy. What's his fucking first name, John?
Tutu Atwell scored this week. We can go back to the all-time classic of Tutu Atwell,
Chris
motherfuckers.
Boswell, motherfuckers.
Who?
Chris Boswell.
Chris Boswell, motherfuckers. I hope
This
so.
is going to be really relatable next week.
All right. I think it's a Tutu Atwell. I think Matt's right. He did score this week. We want to celebrate him. So on 3, 2, 1. Tutu
Atwell, motherfuckers.
Oh, how good is that?
The
Lag.
fucking PS5 shit.
Toodles.